Now, we also have this very important setting called Enable Server Reticle. What the game does is, basically you have the reticle. When you don't have this enabled, you have the simple reticle that is going to move analog to your computer. Basically, where you take your mouse and you aim around, it's going to follow it very smoothly and give you the perception that your shots are actually going to 100% go where you're aiming at with your mouse. Wrong. There's a latency between you and the server, and that means that sometimes when you have higher ping, or sometimes when there's a jitter in the server connection, that shot is going to completely miss and you're gonna have no idea why I did that. I recommend you guys turn on server reticle because it actually will show you where the server thinks where your reticle is truly pointing at. Make sure to have dynamic camera off, because if you have dynamic camera on, your reticle is going to keep bouncing every single time you bump into someone, you drive over some obstacle, or you're actually shooting at someone, and it's going to drop the camera literally to the sky. And also, when you get hit by someone, it's going to drop the camera straight facing the sky, and it's going to be very annoying for you to play the game that way. Your nickname in battle and play on maps with random events. Now, I'm gonna start with the random events maps. As of now, if you untick this feature, you are not going to be able to play maps like Prohorovka, for example. Prohorovka is a very important map for light tanks. You're gonna have so many great games on light tanks on that map, so it's absolutely necessary to have this ticked on in case you wanna play lights and you wanna get Prohorovka. Now, Destroy, this is also quite important. Whenever you're playing at the late game and your end game and you're looking for some additional objects to hide behind, you can use the wrecks of your enemies and your allies. And it's important to know what tank's wreck it is, because if you're familiar with the tank, you can actually make sure to have the vehicle model on, nothing else, just the vehicle model on. And for example, you want to cap the base, and you know there's going to be a mouse wreck in the base. Well, that means that you're going to have a way bigger object sitting in the cap, and you can actually play around with that mentally than say it was like an even 90 wreck or a small light tanks wreck. So recommend turning this on, it can be very useful.
Make sure to check out the main video for secret tips.